know what it is, guys? Like I seen a couple of obviously Optimus. I was watching it yesterday and the day before, and it just crashed and it just went right down. Then it went back up. But as soon as that went, a couple of other platforms just poof. It just had a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happening these days in the crypto market. I thought that we would kind of had some quiet period after Luna, but no, we have it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can look at is that, the lower the price goes, the better of an opportunity it becomes,
Well, with my personal wallet, I tried that theory by buying a bit of Luna when it was falling, but it didn't work out so well for me. So you need to be sure that it's going to go back afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we should just get going. And obviously, people who want to listen to the start can obviously just listen to one of our live streams or uploads after we're finished. So, welcome to today's AMA, guys. Today we're going to be focused on Space Fund, formerly known as Wand Investments. We have their CEO with us today.
Patrick, you're gonna record.
Project, answering our questions, and yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself and Space Fund? Tell us a little bit about the ecosystem.
Absolutely. So I'm Ilkema. I'm the founder and CEO of SpaceDefi. SpaceDefi is like the umbrella name for space funds, space vaults, and everything that we are going to build within the ecosystem. What's going to really be the common link between all that we create is this notion of not taking crazy risk, going with something that is based on sustainability and that is really easy to use for the users. Myself, I started crypto as a retail investor. I know that some of the things can be quite a hassle to do, and the goal is really to help any investor to navigate DeFi better. So this is really the overarching principles for all that we are building. It started with the Space Fund, which was known as WAND, and we have two tokens. One of the tokens has an ever-increasing floor price, ever-increasing price actually, because it is 100% backed by stablecoins. There are some taxes when you buy, when you sell, and the funds are actually farming. So the APR from the farming stays within the treasury, and all of the taxes are also here to increase the price. So that's the first token. The second token is called Baton. What we do with Baton is that it is backed by a treasury, and we invest it in medium risk investments, mostly some bot trading. 45% of the rewards are compounding, 45% of the rewards are sent to the Baton holders every month, and 10% are going to the dev wallet. So what we're doing here is essentially we curate some strategies for the investors, we manage it for you, and the idea is that because we have quite a large treasury, I mean, at least much larger than what the average investors can have, we have a selection of a variety of strategies. Currently, we have 9 different investments in that strategy, and we change them as we feel that we need. For instance, we have 7 bot strategies. 4 of them are working very well, 3 of them not so much. So what we're doing is that we are changing them because we monitor them quite often. The idea is really to do this work of curation for you, to help you save time and have a better return on investment on your money. And one of the things that we've noticed is the complexity to use the bots. For instance, if you want to run your custom bots, usually what you need is to have a software on your computer that will be running 24/7. And well, you may not have internet 24/7. You may not have the possibility to have your computer on all the time. You may not even have electricity all of the time, depending on where you live. The alternative is that you create an account on a centralized exchange. You create an account on a bot service provider, and you subscribe to a bot platform and a bot maker. So that's a fair amount of upfront costs. Depending on how much you want to invest, it may or may not be a good investment. What we're doing is that we take Defi, you know, the farm aggregator. We do a similar interface or UI, and instead of having a farm connected to it, we connect our own grid trading bots. So at the beginning, we're only going to use some grid trading bots, and later on, we're also going to offer more strategies. But the idea is really to make it as accessible as possible to any investor, no matter how much they want to invest. No need for any account or anything. Just connect your MetaMask wallet, stake some stable coins in whichever farm you want. On that farm, you know what is the bot trading strategy, you know what are the assets being traded, and you can also withdraw at any time, and you don't have any upfront payment. So yeah, the idea is really to create some solutions for any investor, whether you are retail or institutional, to manage your portfolio easily and choose the risk profile of your choice.
Okay, thanks for the explanation about the ecosystem. So I think we're going to touch in a little bit more detail on kind of each aspect now. Can you explain a little bit about the security measures that the protocol has in place in terms of the multi-sig, who has access to the funds, who decides which investments are made and where the money is shared out and stuff like that?
Absolutely. So in terms of multi-sig, anyone that has access to it is KYC'd by House of Obsidian and doxed to the governance council. The governance council members are elected by the community, not by the team. And the governance council is also KYC'd and doxed to the team. So there is not much room for roguing or for anyone really taking the funds, because the funds for the Baton and Scepter tokens, which are the two tokens that I described earlier, they are behind a 4 out of 6. Yeah, 4 out of 6 multisig. And on that multisig, there are 3 team members and 3 governance council members. So the team, even if we wanted to, we would not be able to rug. So this is the basic of security. Then, of course, we have an audit with the CertiK. We have also one with the Prisma Shield. And the decisions are, so ideally would like the community to make some suggestions about some investments, and it does happen, and we are actually making one change that is following some of the suggestions for the bots. What happens is that whoever comes up with the idea is then analyzed by some investment analysts who have been chosen by the team from the community. Then we have a vote with the governance council, which again has been elected by the community. If the governance council votes yes, then we proceed to the investment. If the governance council votes no, it doesn't go through the, well, we don't proceed with the investment. If the investment is more than 30% of the TVL of the treasury, then we have a community-wide vote, this 30% threshold has been voted upon by the community. So all of the funds are on some multi-sig treasuries, except what is on some centralized exchanges for the trading bots, because they work on centralized exchanges. And for these funds, I'm the only person who can access them. We are considering creating some kind of, not really a multi-sig, but let's say that I would like that if 3 of the people who are on the multi-sig agree, they could use a software of some kind to also have access to the centralized exchange. This way, most of the time, I'm the only one who could access it. But if anything happens to me, they would be able to access the funds, and like the money would not be lost if something happens to me. But at the moment, I'm the only person accessing it.
Okay, cool, thanks. Before we start touching on the other aspects of the ecosystem, you know, the bots and the decentralized exchange a little bit more. I know some of you guys aren't invested in Space Fund or SpaceDefi at all. So have you guys got any questions on exactly how some of the tokens work and how the whole ecosystem kind of works together? This question was aimed at the other guys in the group.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, this means I fixed my microphone. Okay, so I just have a question because I just have a quick look on the website today. So basically there are 2 tokens, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I buy the first token and after I can buy the second one.
Yes.
But the thing what I don't understand with the price, because on the website it says the second one is like 0.23 if I'm not mistaken.
That should be the redeeming value.
Oh, okay. So when I change the first token for the second one, it's 1-to-1, yeah?
Yes, it is always going to be 1-to-1, no matter the value of both tokens.
All right. So basically, to put it more simple, you know, because many people, they don't understand all this technical. They just want to know how they make money with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you buy the first token, you swap it for the second one, and you just hold it in your wallet, and once per month, you get paid.
Yes, and the alternative is that you just buy the first token, you hold it, the price increases, and at some point you sell it back. You have both options. You can either buy Scepter, the price increases, and then you sell it, or you buy Scepter, you swap it for Baton, and you receive some USDC airdrops every month in your wallet. You don't even need to stake it.
Yeah.
And we're working on some other ways for you to make money, like the bots and everything.
Okay. And you have any percentage? Let's say if I spend $1,000 for it, and how much do you expect per month?
So to be honest, that month the return on investment will be disappointing because we have been disappointed with the bot results. Some of the bots that we are in the process of changing. Then after this month, based on historical data, we expect the return on investment to be 5 to 10% every month. This is based on historical data, so some months it will be less, some months it will be more. And also, one of the things that's important to us is it's not just sustainable. The rewards are increasing over time. And that is because 45% of the rewards that we generate by the investments are compounding. So the treasury is growing, and because of that, the rewards are also growing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any you other guys got any questions?
Basically, I don't have any question to ask because all the questions which I had City actually asked all of them, so I got my answers.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So why don't you touch a little bit more on the things that are coming up within the ecosystem, the SpaceDex and the space bots, and exactly how they are going to work to then help out the other aspects of the project, like Skepta and Baton.
Yeah. So at the moment, SpaceBots is made. We are in the auditing phase, and it should be back in less than a week. So we do expect a launch around mid-November. What we are working on it. We're going to launch it. What we expect is an APR on the blue chip tokens of 25 to 50% per year as an APR, and we are going to use that with a part of the Baton treasury as well. So that means that we're going to be able to generate some higher rewards for the Baton holders. So this is one of the ways that that SpaceBots is going to benefit the holders of the current tokens. Another way is that with Scepter and Baton, there is not a lot of hype because these tokens are like you buy them, then you forget about them. There are no gains, there is no huge price fluctuations and everything. So those tokens are a bit boring, to be honest. SpaceBots will not be boring. SpaceBots is the only platform in DeFi where you can just stake some stable coins in a vault and you have some bot trading that's happening for you. So it's the opposite of boring, and that will also generate some hype, which means more visibility for the Scepter and Baton tokens as well. And a part of the fees generated by SpaceBots are going to the treasuries of Scepter and Baton. So it's a third way that SpaceBots will be benefiting the token holders. And finally, we have a huge roadmap for SpaceBots because first we're creating this grid trading bot. We're going to make multiple upgrades to it because we have a lot of ideas to keep the safety of a grid trading bot, but make it more and more efficient. And we want also to open it with an API to other bot makers, which will also increase the visibility of the platform as a whole, create a no-code bot making platform for all of the investors. We even want at some point to connect to some centralized exchanges and open it to Forex exchange. So because this platform is the first and we have a very good roadmap that is actually audacious, but also something that can be achieved, we are going to be recognized as a big name in the DeFi space with that platform. And that will also benefit the Scepter and Baton tokens. Regarding SpaceDex, SpaceDex is a DEX with single asset staking, a high APR thanks to what we call dual asset allocation, which is essentially using the same token at two places at the same time to have twice the APR. And we want to use it. We're going to launch it a bit later when we can do a very large marketing campaign because it's a DEX. There are a lot of DEXs. So that means a lot of competition for our DEX for both the TVL and the swapping and bridging volume. So we don't want to rush that product and launch it if we are not sure that it's going to be actually successful. We are more confident with the SpaceBots short term because SpaceBots, again, is unique. So what we're offering is just a better alternative to farming, and the TVL of the investors who are farming in DeFi is absolutely huge. And because the grid trading is essentially the same risk as farming with the same liquidity pair, but with an APR that is going to be 2 to 10 times higher, we can attract a huge amount of TVL on that platform, and it's absolutely going to be huge.
Okay, can you also, you actually did touch on it a little bit before, and you were explaining the whole ecosystem and how it works, but can you talk a little bit more about the accessibility of SpaceBots and you know, how easy it is to get involved and invest in that, and whether it requires maybe, you know, holding certain tokens, or whether it requires, you know, a centralized exchange account and stuff like that?
Okay, so just for the people who are here in Telegram, but I hope that you can also guys share it for the replay. I'm going to share our light paper, which has not been released before, and there will be some visuals that are quite self-explanatory, but I will explain them here. If you want to use SpaceBots, what you need is, let's say you want to trade on USDC and Ethereum. You go on the platform, you connect with your wallet, just like on any DeFi platform. You say, okay, I choose my chain. I want to be trading on Binance Smart Chain. Then you choose a DEX, and there is a little menu that will unfold before you. And you say, okay, I want to go on PancakeSwap. And then you choose the tokens. So you can write Ethereum, and we will offer you some options for the stablecoins. And then you have this dashboard that displays all of the vaults that match your criteria. So your criteria are that you are PancakeSwap, Ethereum, on Binance Smart Chain. And you will see the vaults. You just click on it. You choose like 1,000 USDC. You click on approve and stake, and that's it. So it's extremely simple to use. It's just as, I mean, if you've ever been farming on PancakeSwap, on Defi, on SpiritSwap, or on any DEX or any DEX aggregator, it is exactly the same UI. Well, I mean, I like very much what our designer has been doing, because it's very sleek, it's smooth, it's easy to see, but the overall outlook is also something that you will be very familiar with. So the accessibility is very good. In terms of what you need to actually have the right to access it, you only need your wallet. We are creating also some private vaults. Some of the vaults will only be accessible for investors who have Scepter or Baton or the Space token, which we will release soon. And we will also make some vaults based on some partnerships. For instance, we will have one with the Daylight protocol. We will also have a private vault for Delta Finance. And the idea is that you can only access these vaults if you hold some Delta Finance tokens, or if you hold this or that token. So most of the vaults will be open to anyone, but we can also, if we have some requests from some other projects or other communities, create a vault that only certain wallets can access. So this will not be a majority, but it is something that we can do. And the idea here is that for a vault to be efficient, we need two things. We need enough TVL so that we can benefit from small price action and make quite a lot of transactions without too much gas fees. And like, if we have $10 of TVL and the gas fees are 20 cents for every transaction, it's just not going to be good, because the gas fees are going to be equal to the value of every transaction. So we need enough TVL to compensate the gas fees. But on the other hand, if we have like 1 million TVL on a vault that is trading on a token that has a market cap of 500K, we are going to have a huge slippage. So we need an amount of TVL that is high enough to cover for the gas fees, but low enough to not create too much slippage. And this is where the private vaults have some value, because if you as a community have your own vaults and you agree to stake collectively, I don't know, 20, 50, or even 100K, then the execution of the trades will use enough TVL so that the gas fees are like so low that you're not even going to see it. But it's also not enough to create a lot of slippage when you do the trades. So this is the added value of the private vaults.
Okay, cool. And so with the upcoming releases of SpaceDex and SpaceBots, do you guys plan on having a version 2 of Space Fund to
Yes.
improve any of the features? And if you guys do, could you please outline what changes are going to be made?
So some of the changes will be like we will lower the buy tax on the Scepter token, probably make it possible to buy the Baton token without going through the Scepter token, just to make it easier to use. Probably give a bit of flexibility in terms of how much compounding the investors want. Essentially, I mean, the Scepter token it is pretty unique in DeFi. It is a good token. Unfortunately, the taxes are too high for this bear market. So we need to lower the taxes. And we've also had some constructive feedback from the community, which I always answer, and I keep track of what the community is saying about the tokens. And we're going to make some changes to make the token more accessible. Just because 20% buy tax, some investors will be like, yeah, that's too high, which I can understand in this market. So we just want to not change the core tokenomics because they are good, but make it simpler to use and without this gap to join the ecosystem. We just want to simplify it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you had to compare Skepta to anything, you would compare it to MDB Plus, right? And those guys are managing to increase the floor price with having a 1% all-round tax. I think it's like 0.75 to sell and 0.25 to buy, something like that. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you want the buys and sells to be something that can help contribute to the increase in price Skepta, but obviously having it too high is going to be putting people off from investing in the first place, right?
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely true. The tax is too high for a fair amount of investors. So we are going to make that change, and we're also going to find a way to compensate the investors who bought with the higher tax just before we made the switch. So we have a few things to figure out, but for me, there will be a V2 for the Scepter and Baton tokens, but the priority is still to create some streams of revenues that are not dependent on investors buying or selling, and not dependent on the investments themselves. For me, the priority is really to create streams of revenues because I believe in real yield. I believe in being as far as possible from a Ponzi. So we want to generate some revenues before anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I really wanted you to come on this AMA. Like, because we're trying to have projects here that, we're kind of trying to have like non-Ponzi projects here that are trying to make a difference in the DeFi space, which is the reason why I wanted to invite you on here specifically.
Well, I appreciate it, and we I mean, one of the things that's really driving us to create is also that I mean, I didn't know before being on a multisig what a pain in the ass it actually is. Several times we have been trying to even swap some stable coins, but when you have a multisig, you approve a swap at a certain price. And if the price is different when you actually execute the transaction after the other people have approved, the transaction is rejected. And because of this time lag with the multisig between when you initiate and when you execute the transaction, even some stablecoin swaps have been refused. And it's given us the idea of creating our own alternative to the multisigs, because a lot of people are actually not happy with Gnosis Safe. It is very safe to use, but it is also extremely annoying for the project owners. So one of the things we want to do is this alternative to Gnosis Safe. I also want to create a lending platform aggregator, because again, we want to create space bots. With the space bots, we are going to execute some bot trading strategies. And if you are working on a centralized exchange, like what most of the bots are doing, you can do some spot trading, you can do some leverage trading, you can do some perpetuals and everything. Today, some of the DEXs are offering leverage trading, perpetuals and everything, but most of them are not. So we are also going to create our own leverage trading platform, which will be open to anyone actually, not just us for space bots, but for any investor or even some bots that are not ours. And that platform, I think, is going to be quite useful because it's going to aggregate different lending platforms that are not ours again, that are like Aave, Compound, Scream, and everything. And also connect them automatically with the DEX that have the lowest swap fees and the lowest, the best prices at any given time, to make it as easy and cheap for any investor to lend, to borrow, to leverage. And again, we want to, we come from our own perception and experience of DeFi and what could be improved in DeFi. We created because we actually need it to provide a better service to our token holders, and then we make the service available to anyone else. So this is again some utility that is also going to be helpful for retail and institutional investors, and it also creates some revenues for our investors. And I'm sorry that I realize that I'm dropping a lot of information that goes in different directions. It's just that I'm really excited about what we are building, and your questions just make me think about what we are including in our roadmap and everything that we want to build.
No, it's good, man. That's why we're here, right? To explain the whole ecosystem, and obviously the more in detailed answers you can give, obviously it's better for everyone. So I've probably got one last question that I wanted to give you, and then I'll let some people ask their last questions as well. So you touched a little bit on it about future partnerships and collaborations and marketing for the future. Can you give a little bit of a more detailed answer and what is going to be coming up in the near future in terms of that, in terms of the marketing and partnerships?
So I cannot tell you what are the future partnerships, because if they are not displayed, it's because we haven't had a strong agreement yet. And I cannot say we may have a partnership with this platform if they haven't agreed with it. So that's not an answer that I can give. In terms of marketing, our plan is that we are working with Project Daylight, and they are supporting us in making a new seed round of 150K, and most of that budget will be used to fund a large marketing campaign. And we've seen who they are working with, like the marketing agency, and they've shown us the effectiveness of their campaign on Twitter and everything, and it's working extremely well. So right now the challenge is to have this funding, and from then we are just going to let the agency, who are professionals, who were working in Web 2 and now they converted to Web 3. We're going to just manage that marketing campaign for us. What we see is that a lot of the times the projects are just paying some influencers who have more or less reputation in the DeFi space, and sometimes the results are good, sometimes not so much. We've also seen some, and I'm not saying that about any of you guys, but we've seen some influencers who have some practices that are not very ethical, let's put it that way. And I don't feel comfortable giving some money to an influencer who has been shilling several rugs and several scams and everything. So we're going to go a different route in terms of marketing. We really want to stay away from any actor who has been involved directly or indirectly with some rugs or scams, whether they are influencers or some other projects or anything. It's not just the influencers. And so this is our strategy at the moment. We're doing a second seed round with the Space token. With the funds, most of it are going to marketing. A smaller part are going to also support the research and development to go a bit faster. And then we have the launch. And again, a part of the funds are going to stay in the liquidity pair. A part of the funds will be invested through Baton and through Spacebots, and the rewards are going to be used to support the price of the token. Another part of the funds will be for marketing and again for research and development.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Evan, you guys got any questions you want to ask? And looks like we're good for today. So yeah, I guess we'll finish the AMA there. Thank you for coming on today. Merci beaucoup. And,
Merci à vous. I think Patrick wanted to say something.
And yeah, if you've got anything that you want to close on, then yeah, feel free.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just wanted to ask a question, but it's fine because we almost at the end. But probably for the next time. Sinon, je suis vraiment ravi et très content de t'avoir sur le AMA. Je savais pas que tu es français, mais je suis vraiment ravi.
C'est un plaisir pour moi aussi. Je pensais que le AMA serait en français et ça aurait été mon premier AMA en français. But yeah, I'm really happy that I've been able to be here for this AMA with you guys. Thank you as well, Degen Chad, who I think you've been the one to maybe organize it, or at least you've been the one that I've been in touch with. So thank you for this opportunity. And if there is something that I want to close on, that would be do your own research. We have a link tree with all the links that you can need for Space Fund, for Spacebots, and everything. If you have any kind of question, just don't hesitate to ask on our Twitter or Discord or anything. We are an open community, and anyone is very much welcome. And I hope that yeah, we stay in touch also with you guys in the AMA and with the audience in on the social media.
All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, okay, man. Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, see you later. So, guys, are we going to call it a day there, or do you have any other topics you want to talk about?
No, I think we're okay. Well,
Okay, let's call it a day then, and then we can maybe organize some more topics for another week.
all right, it's
Okay,
perfect.
later.
Bye.
Yeah, okay, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye.